channel. This is the second episode to my 5-episode series on self-growth. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for the responses to episode 1. I felt like y'all were gonna think it was boring. I just felt it in my heart to post it, and gosh, the responses were more than I could ever ask for, and I'm so thankful that I was able to reach some of y'all through that video. With that being said, let's get right into this video. So I titled this video Purpose Through Faith because I know how easy it is to doubt yourself and to feel so useless. And sometimes it's because we don't trust God. And so the 3 main points I have for this video is to help you identify yourself through faith, identify the enemy, and how to see purpose in your daily life. I want to start off with how to identify the enemy. So one thing people tend to think is that once you choose to follow Christ, that life gets easier. And I really want to break that trend right here because that is false. Simply because there is an enemy, and his number one tactic is to have you not know who you are. He wants you to doubt yourself, and he wants you to feel insecure. And bottom line is that these insecurities are from the devil. Sometimes my insecurities get the most of me when I'm singing on stage, and it's because when I'm glorifying God, the enemy tries to distract me because he cannot destroy me. And what he can't destroy, he distracts. And so my distraction is, she can sing this song way better than me, why choose me? Or this girl's younger than me and she can sing better than me. Like, something does not add up. And so sometimes those negative thoughts push me to back out of worshiping. That's exactly what the enemy wants. So however you can relate to that, when God calls you to turn your life around, not only will the enemy see you as a target now, but even some of the closest people to you won't support you or won't believe in your transformation. You can work on yourself and you can be so determined and you can feel great. But on the opposite end, this is when the enemy decides he's going to attack through your daily life. Meaning people in your daily life might say you're not good enough, you have an addiction, there's no way that you can be a man of faith, you're impure, there's no way you can be a woman of faith. We really tend to take it personally when it comes to family, friends, maybe a boss or a manager, when they tell you that your ideas or your faith is stupid or even out of reach. This is the enemy trying to use people you're most vulnerable with to bring you down. He wants you to act out of character and he wants you to act out of anger. But we have to be strong enough to control our actions, or else we're gonna end up not doing what God called us to do because the opinion of somebody else. So when Noah built the ark, it had never even rained before. And no matter how ridiculous this sounded or how crazy people thought of him, he continued to do what God called him to do. Look at the impact he made. But it doesn't matter how ugly people are to you because God is your highest authority. The enemy will also try to put you through really tough situations to have you question God's love and purpose for your life. When I was sexually assaulted, this really impacted my life a lot. Of course, people are gonna want to act out of anger, but instead of acting out of character, I chose to use this to help other victims of sexual assault. Why? I mean, who would not want their revenge? Seriously, come on. I really considered it, but no. The way you respond to that bad thing that happened to you is more important than the actual situation itself. I cannot change what happened to me. I can change how I respond to that situation. We have to learn to keep grace under pressure. A lot of people are gonna ask you, what are you gonna do? And you have to remain graceful. Stop living by fear and live by faith. People will have you doubt yourself. When I said I was gonna make a sexual assault awareness video, I was told by so many people it was a bad idea because no one would want to share their story. So I took a leap of faith and I was able to gather a group of people, even some out of the country. It sounded crazy, but now this is my reality. Fear is, what if I can't gather people? What if they don't want to share their story? And having faith is, even if God, even if I can't get anybody to get on board with me, I will share my story. Even if this fails, I know that you still got me. So point number 2, who you are is your weapon. We don't see ourselves how God sees us. And as humans, we tend to say, if only I had this, or if only I was this, if only I didn't have depression, if only my mom loved me more, or if only I had a father figure. But God has given us everything we need to live in purpose, including those flaws. If you ask yourself, what are my flaws? Everything you list was factored in when God said, I'm going to use you. So whatever you doubt, physically, emotionally, mentally, medically, God's gonna use every single ounce of that. That anxiety you hate, girl, that anxiety is your ticket to connect with somebody who struggles with the same exact thing. What I call weakness, God calls mighty. What you call weakness, God calls mighty. And if you feel like you're at a disadvantage because the lack of something normal, use that. Use it to give hope to somebody else who needs it. I mean, what you have now, your fears, your flaws, your motivations, it's all there for a reason. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing your gifts and your talents, and stop comparing what they have that you don't. God wants to see where you can serve. So continue, or even start now, living in the armor of God. Your armor is that anxiety. Your armor is that medical condition, that fear of what comes next. Use it as armor, because sometimes you are the answer. Which leads us to number 3, which is you're where God placed you. Placed. And where you start will never look like the end result. For example, all my friends went to university and I was stuck at a community college. That was very discouraging when it first happened. That doesn't mean I'm never gonna get to the university, right? This just means right now and right here, God is placing me at this school because I could be the answer to a problem that needs faith. This taught me that there is purpose in every situation. Me being at community college is preparing me for what God has next. And so always ask yourself, what is it that you're trying to teach me, God? What is the purpose? I mean, He's never gonna place anything in your life that you can't handle. And even when it feels like too much, you just have to have faith. And faith is doing the thing that no one else will do. Why? Because crazy faith will produce crazy results. I'm gonna use my mom for this example. So my mom was called to be a health coach. And so all these years she was gaining weight, and all these years she was adding medications to her daily life. So finally an opportunity for a health program came along, and people say you can lose weight in no time. But to be completely honest, nobody wants to pay to lose weight. But she did it. And too many of us are walking away from the process and end up unprepared for what God called us to do. God called her to be a faith-based health coach. And if she would have turned down the opportunity to be a part of this program to fix her health, she would not be prepared to be a health coach. So stop saying, I'm mad because I'm not where I want to be right now. Well, duh. God is trying to tell you, you have to start right here in order to be prepared for what I have in store for you. Stop being stubborn and trust God. Because where you are is enough. Where you are mentally and emotionally is enough. He's gonna place you somewhere. You have to meet Him in the middle and stand strong, because God knows you can complete the task. So with all of that being said, there is a purpose for you. And no matter how worthless somebody might make you feel, no matter how tight you are on money, God has a purpose. And I highly encourage you to read His word and to watch sermons. Little things like that can help you find your purpose. And if you ask for His guidance, God will provide. Okay, thank you so much for staying through this entire video. I hope somebody watching this video got answers or clarity. Please share the video. You just never know who might want to see this, who might need to hear this. So thank you so much for staying, and I will see you next week for my 3rd episode.